Tell us about the dates you're going on, Madison. Do you have a boyfriend? Are you dating someone? You mentioned that it was date night twice in the last video. Guys, I've been clocked. Okay, I just took a 4-hour evidence exam and I decided now was the time to film a Q&A. I'm a little bit unhinged right now and all I can think about is hearsay. So I thought I would distract myself by answering some of your questions, so I hope you enjoy it. We have some juicy ones on the menu, some really good questions, and I'm excited to give you some responses. I'm excited to be open, I'm excited to get chatty. We're gonna do it all. But first, I do want to say thank you to the sponsor of this video, which is none other than Dossier. You guys all know. If you know, you know. I've been working with Dossier for forever. They are such a pleasant brand to work with, and they offer you elegant, classy, luxurious perfumes for a fraction of the price. You all know that I don't like to spend a lot of money on perfume, but I still want a very high quality fragrance, and that's where Dossier comes in handy. They offer you such a wide variety of scents. You can truly find a scent for every occasion, every season, you name it. There's something on the website. Since I started working with them, they have added so many new fragrances, and every time I go on to pick out new perfumes, there's so many, it's almost overwhelming, but in the best way possible. I know buying perfumes online can be sketchy, but they do have a risk-free policy, meaning if you get the scent, you don't like it, you can send it back, exchange, refund, whatever. They're super accommodating that way. So I wanted to show you the perfume that I got this time. We're doing something a little bit different. And by a little bit different, I truly mean a little bit different. It's not that much different. But this perfume that I got is Floral Violet. So this one is based on Marc Jacobs Daisy. I've never tried Daisy. The reason why I picked this one is because I've heard that Marc Jacobs Daisy is like the best perfume ever. It has notes of watermelon, strawberry, violet, gardenia, jasmine, musk, vanilla. They give you a whole like little info card. Oh my gosh, it smells so clean with like a subtle sweetness. That smells really good. Oh my gosh, it's like very subtly sweet. I don't think it's a summery scent. I definitely think you can wear this during the winter too, so I'm gonna start wearing it now. But it's just a subtle sweetness that's not overwhelming. Check this one out if you want to be scent sisters, and we can smell like the same thing this month if you want. That's weird, but we can do it. Like I said, Dossier is just awesome. Their quality is just there. And if you're the type of person that likes to buy in bulk, you can buy 3 perfumes on their website and you'll get 25% off and free shipping. Super good deal. If you want to check out Dossier, be sure to click the link in the description box and you can use my code MadisonR10 and you'll get money off your order. Thank you so much again to Dossier for sponsoring, and let's get into the Q&A. I used to do Q&As all the time, like back when I was a little baby 1L. It's so weird. I feel like my hair has changed, my outlook has changed, everything has changed. So let us get into the questions. If you weren't doing law, what would you do? This is a really good question. Basically, I've known I wanted to be a lawyer for quite a long time, like since like early undergrad I figured it out. So I never really thought too much about what I would do if I didn't do that, but I did get my undergrad degree in psychology, and I really do like schools. I think I probably would have went to grad school to do clinical psychology. So I don't know if that would have been a PsyD or a PhD. PhD sounds very intimidating, so it probably would have been a PsyD, but that's probably what I would have done. Clinical psychology always really interested me. I love my degree. I think psychology was super interesting, but I always definitely was more interested in the clinical side versus like organizational psych and stuff like that. So I'd probably be doing that, but it's like super hard to say because honestly I just kind of knew that law school was the place for me. Do you already know what you'll be doing after law school work-wise? Yes. If you're gonna work at a law firm, you will usually get the offer your 2L summer. You can get it your 1L summer. I got it my 2L summer, then you work there your 2L summer, and typically the offer for full-time employment comes at the end of your 2L summer. I have known since August that I have a post-grad job lined up, which is really nice. So yes, I do know. And a lot of my classmates know as well. Really the only exception is if you're doing like public interest work. I know hiring for that really starts later, and government also starts later. But if you're doing firms, especially like bigger firms, you generally will know ahead of time because they just pick their classes way earlier. And this leads me to my next question. How do you stay motivated in 3L when you already have a job lined up post-grad? This is a really good question, and I think I can see it as I walk through the halls of WashU that amongst 3Ls, motivation is low. A lot of 3Ls don't even take doctrinals. They do a clinic, they do some sort of externship. Like, they're not on campus at all, first of all. And the ones that are, like, we look generally defeated. We do not look good. We look weathered. We look like we have given up. And honestly, I think it's just because burnout is inevitable during law school. Like, a lot of people argue that law school should only be 2 years. I don't know about that. Maybe I'd join that camp, especially right now, because it'd benefit me because I'd be done. But yeah, it's hard to keep up with the motivation. I think the key is just to remember that this is your last year of school, and this is my last year of school ever. I think that's a lot of motivation for me, is just like, I like school, I've enjoyed it. The fact that this is the last time that I'll ever be doing it is kind of a motivation for me to just like do it as well as I can. But like I said, even that is fleeting, because sometimes I'm definitely not motivated. Plans after law school: what aspect of law do you want to go into once you've graduated? And I will be working on the litigation side of things. So I think that's pretty obvious from my videos. I've never really talked about transactional stuff, even though I take a lot of transactional classes now that I think about it. But generally, like, I've always been pretty litigation focused, and that is what I will be doing. I'm very excited. It's gonna be awesome. What will you miss the most about law school when you're done with it? This is a good question. I think obviously I'm gonna miss my friends who aren't going to be here anymore. Specifically Nathan. You all know I have gotten so close with him. He is literally like my best friend that I've ever had in my life. Like, I'm not even saying that. Like, I think law school creates a special bond, and him and I are so similar anyways. But I'm definitely gonna miss him because we are literally like attached at the hip. I honestly can't believe he's not here right now while I'm filming this video, but like, we are attached to the hip, so I'm obviously gonna miss that. And I just kind of miss the sense of community around law school is very strong. I think it's because it's small. Like, you just feel like there's a group, like, we're all going through this together. Most of the times people do have each other's backs. Like, they're very like open to sharing, very collaborative. I just kind of love that like group mentality of like, we're all doing this, we're all pursuing the same thing. Like, you can have very interesting conversations with people. These are things you can experience in legal practice as well, but I do think there's something unique to the situation of law school. And honestly, I just really like school. Like, I just enjoy going to class. I enjoy learning about the law. Even areas that I'm like not going into, I still enjoy learning about them. How is 3L? Is it better than 2L? This is hard to answer. It's hard to say because my 2L year was plagued by crisis after crisis. So yes, it is better, but I can't tell. 2L was a lot of work. You're putting in a lot of work on law review. It's definitely not to that same extent 3L year. 3L, I also have a job, but 3L, I'm tired. I require more naps than normal. It takes longer for me to get up and get my work done. Like, 2L, I feel like I had a little bit more fire underneath me, and now I don't, so that's the benefit of 2L. But at the same time, being a 3L is nice. I totally recommend. Definitely, you 1Ls and 2Ls, what are you doing? Why don't you just be a 3L? I really should not be filming this right now. I'm just saying absolutely anything. Anything goes during this Q&A. And I'm hyped up on caffeine too. This is like my 6th shot of espresso of the day. In general terms, what was your favorite type of work you did at your summer job? Honestly, a lot of what you do at your summer jobs is research. And I know this is a very broad answer. I like the research portion. I think research can be interesting. I definitely enjoy the writing portion more. I think it is the most fun I had at my summer job was when I had a little bit of creative flexibility to draft like preliminary documents and get feedback on it. That for me was fun because I think you think of the law as very like structured, very rigid, and not a lot of room for flexibility. But when you're drafting court documents and stuff, you do have some room to be more creative, and that for me is really fun. So any opportunity I had to do that, it didn't matter how small the issue was, how uninteresting the issue seemed. Those were things I enjoyed. Favorite songs at the moment. Guys, let's just go to my top. Let's do my 2022 rap, shall we? Like, I'm not the type that listens to new music a lot. I stick to what I know. I've been listening to the same 10 songs my entire life. Like, my favorite song is Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears. I've known that song since I was like 8 years old, and it was my favorite when I was 8, and it's my favorite now. I'm not very experimental with music, but the Drake album, I love like 5 songs on that. Like, those are like some of my faves. Tovlo, To Die For, has been one that I've really loved. Tovlo is one of my favorites. She is a queen. She can do no wrong in my eyes. Can't Stop by Red Hot Chili Peppers is always one of my tops. And then What We Didn't Do by Particle House. That was my top song of 2022. It was the song that I listened to the entire time I ran my half marathon. I did not listen to a different song. And it used to be my intro song for a little bit because it's copyright free. We're gonna get to the juicy question now. I got this question a few times. Tell us about the dates you're going on, Madison. Are you dating someone? Do you have a boyfriend? You mentioned that it was date night twice in the last video. Guys, I've been clocked. I've been exposed. Yes. Obviously, when you start dating someone, you're not gonna immediately be like, welcome to YouTube. But yes, I have been dating somebody for a few months now, and it's actually been going really, really well. It's always really interesting when I introduce my YouTube channel and I'm like, hello, we are dating. I also have a YouTube channel, but obviously he was cool about it. And yeah, we've had a really good time. He definitely brings out a goofier side of me, and like I'm like relatively goofy as it is. He's a very relaxed person, and I feel like I do well with people who are more relaxed, because it honestly, like I could never date somebody who was super type A, because it would just drive me nuts, because I'm type A, and like our type A's, they wouldn't work together. So I like somebody who's more relaxed. And the question of will he appear in the vlogs? Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. And yeah, it's going well. I don't know. It's like, you guys are making me embarrassed. Stop asking me these questions. Going off of that, how to maintain a relationship during law school. This is a good question. And I think I'm relatively like good at this. Like I've had some relationship experience in law school, and I think the key is, and I've always said this, just make sure it's both people's priorities and it'll work. As long as you make it a priority, and it doesn't have to be your #1 priority. I'm not saying your first semester of law school, your relationship should come first. Honestly, I'm gonna say your grade should. However, that doesn't mean that you have to say, I'm never gonna talk to you, I'm never gonna see you, I'm never gonna do date nights, because that's not good for you. Like, I think the key is to communicate. Also, make sure you make time to like talk about things that aren't law school, because I understand the inclination. When you start law school, everything is law school, and you just want to sit down with your partner and you want to talk to them about all the stuff you learned. Don't do it. For one, I'm gonna say it because they won't, because they love you, okay? They don't care. They literally don't care what the elements of negligence are. I know, shocking, because we all care so much, but they don't care. So don't tell them, and try to talk about things that aren't law school, because that's good for you too, mentally. You kind of need a break. All of those things that make a relationship work normally should be applicable in law school as well. And if you are dating another law student, why? I'm just kidding, that was a joke, but like honestly, good luck, because I don't have any advice there. Favorite law school year? 1L. I loved 1L. I think 1L was a whole new world of possibilities and fun. I enjoyed the subject matter a lot. I was really productive. Like I felt my most motivated. 1L was fun. Like I really enjoyed 1L, even though it was on Zoom. I still really enjoyed it. I think every year has had things about them that make them good. But I don't know, I kind of romanticize 1L when I look back on it as like being this awesome year that I loved. If you watch my vlogs, I watch my old vlogs, I'm like, dang, I had it together and I was enjoying it. Will you keep vlogging post law school? Guys, I have not thought about this yet. I think it's tough to say, because obviously I will be working a lot, and obviously I'm not gonna vlog my job. I'm thinking about ways I can keep this channel and still keep this platform, because I really enjoy it, while also transitioning into doing different types of content. So I'm thinking about that. I'd love to. I don't think that the end of law school means I'll just be shutting this channel down. I just haven't decided what I'm gonna do. How do you manage to retain information when doing your readings? I have to take a million notes. Not productive. I'm kind of the same way, to be honest. Like reading and highlighting doesn't cause retention as much as me reading and like typing notes down or writing notes. So I just really try to read a couple paragraphs and then sum it up in a sentence or two. I really try not to fall into the trap of reading something and then typing it into my notes verbatim. So I really try to do that active processing of how can I condense this 3 paragraphs into 2 quick sentences. Other than that, like really just like quizzing yourself as you go, rereading. If you're reading like a law review article for class, like looking at the subheadings can be really helpful, because they essentially give you the claim that the paragraphs underneath are going to support, so you can just kind of go off of those headings. If you're doing cases, it usually follows the issue, facts, rule analysis kind of thing, so you can break it up like that, like more of a traditional case brief. But I think kind of that active, like I'm going to read a few paragraphs and then summarize in a couple of sentences, is what helps me retain information the most when I'm reading. Thoughts on law review, note writing process, and your experience? The law review write-on process, I'll actually put that vlog in the cards, because that's a blast from the past. That's over 1.5 years ago. The law review write-on process was terrible. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was up for like I don't remember, you'll see in the vlog, but I pulled like very close to all-nighters a couple of nights, and I was just constantly working. They have a lot of requirements, not a lot of time to do it. I do think journal is worth it if you want to do litigation because it just helps so much with case citations. Like, I don't even have to look at the blue book anymore. I just like kind of know it. So it's really helpful in that regard. Looks great on a resume, so I'm really not trying to deter anyone from doing law review. I'm just saying, like, expect the write-on process itself to not be too great. I don't know how it is at other schools, but we have to write like a case comment, and then we have to do like blue book checking, and then we have to do like a personal statement. So it's like 3 things you're responsible for, along with this huge packet that you have to read through. Depending on what your goals are, it's worth it to push through for the 5 days and just realize that on the other side, things get better. Last question, any advice for 1Ls about to take their first round of final exams? I think understanding that, 1, you know more than you think you do. I remember like the night before the property exam 1L year, I was just thinking, I don't know anything. Like, I have not learned anything over 4 months, and you have. And honestly, when you get on the exam, it does unlock a sort of adrenaline where you just like pull things out of the hat. You're like, where did that come from? I just took an exam today, and during the exam I'm like, hey, I remembered that. How did I remember that? When did I learn that? Like, you do know a lot more than you think you do, so trust that. Make sure you read the instructions carefully. If there are word limits, do not go over them. A word limit is a rule, and if you go over the word limit, you are showing you cannot follow rules. And also always be sure to make the other side of the argument, even if it seems dumb. Even if an issue seems clear cut, I'm always saying, but the opponent will argue X because X, even though this argument sucks. Like, I always qualify this argument is not good, but I always give the opposing side's argument. So yeah, I would say those are like some pieces of advice for my 1Ls taking exams, but good luck, you all are gonna kill it. Those were all the questions. I hope you all enjoyed this Q&A video. I had so much fun filming it. Hopefully we can do another one of these sometime in the future. Maybe I'll do one in a couple of months, but yeah, I'm gonna go and probably crash and take a nap because I've been up since 5 a.m. And I'm tired. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and also be sure to check out Dossier. My code is Madison R10 for money off, and there will be a link in the description box. But I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.